back to my channel. I am back with another review, so if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. A lot went down in this episode, so let's just get right into this review. Now, before we get into what happened in this episode, I just want to do a little recap on what happened in last week's episode leading up to them going to Jamaica. Before the trip to Jamaica, Natalie brought them all to Times Square because she said that she had a surprise for them, and the surprise was a Baddies billboard, which everybody seemed to be excited about, but that was short-lived because DJ Sky ended up getting a billboard of herself because she was jealous of the fact that she wasn't included. And even though you can tell that Natalie was really pissed off at DJ Sky, she didn't even address it because honestly, I feel like they feel like, DJ Sky is irrelevant to the show, so they didn't give it any energy or attention. And when Natalie ended up taking all the girls out to dinner, she let them know that she's bringing them all on a trip to Jamaica. And obviously all the girls were excited about it, especially the ones who have never been out of the country before. And so at dinner, everybody was having a good time at first until Sukihana showed up and shook things up a bit. A bunch of drama went down when Sukihana showed up because she started calling out the girls that she feels like needed to go home. She said T, Anna, Smiley, and Mariah Lynn should all go home, and then she gave her reasons as to why she feels like they should leave. Now, I don't agree with the people that she said needed to go home, although I do have a little bit of an issue with Mariah Lynn because I feel like she needed to be called out, and I was glad that Sukihana was the one to do it, although I do think that it was a little bit weird that she decided to call out Mariah Lynn all of a sudden when she's the one who jumped into Mariah Lynn and Smiley's beef and tried to help her get her chain back. But I do think that Mariah Lynn needed to be called out because, she says one thing to the girls and then says another thing in her confessional, so to me, that's really fake. Now, Sukihana 1000% ruffled some feathers with the girls when she said that both Smiley and Biggie are the stars of the season. But to me, she's right, they are, and it's the other girls' fault because they keep on making every single episode about one of these two girls, and then they get mad when somebody calls out the fact that they're the stars. They are, so what are you getting mad for? If you don't want them to be the stars of the season, stop giving them so much attention. They think that by ganging up on these two girls, it's going to make the fans have a problem with the two of them, and it doesn't. It makes people look into them more and try to figure out why the other girls don't like them, and it kind of makes you have a lot of sympathy for the two of them. So that's when Scarface and Rolly ended up jumping into the conversation and basically going back and forth with Sukihana. And then that's when Biggie and Scarface started having a back and forth. Biggie ended up picking up a chair because Scarface was trying to go after her. And so obviously she's going to pick up whatever she needs to pick up to get you to not come near her. And so I don't understand why people thought that she was wrong for that because in my opinion, she wasn't wrong. She didn't hit the girl with it. She picked it up to let her know that if she comes over there and tries to hit her, that she will hit her with the chair. She didn't actually hit her with it. So I didn't think that it was that big of a deal, but they did end up getting kicked out of the restaurant. And as the girls are leaving the restaurant and getting on the sprinters, that's when Anna all of a sudden starts going off on Smiley, which I thought was really weird because to me it made it seem like Anna was trying to prove a point to Sukihana because Sukihana was saying that the reason why she feels like Anna should go home is because she heard from the other girls that she runs her mouth and doesn't back it up. Now, do I think that Anna runs her mouth and doesn't back it up? No, I actually kind of liked Anna this season, but some of the things that she's been doing lately has been rubbing me the wrong way. I just think that it was really weird that she decided to go after Smiley because we didn't see them get into anything at dinner. Now, I know she went on social media and said that, Smiley did something really weird and that's the reason why she went off on her like that. But we weren't able to see that. And honestly, she did admit that she was drunk in this episode. So that's probably the reason why she decided to go after Smiley the way that she did. But it was really, really weird. So let's just get into what happened in this week's episode. Natalie's group ended up arriving to Jamaica first, and obviously they got the nicer, bigger house because Natalie ended up putting them in two separate houses again. She claims that it's because they fight too much, but really it's because she wants to cause division. Now, the girls in the other house seem to be in good spirits despite the fact that Anna went off on Smiley in the previous episode. She ended up apologizing to Smiley and the rest of the girls for the way that she was acting and said that it was because she was drunk. And so Smiley seemed to accept her apology. Now, I am kind of confused about this whole situation because when the episode aired, it looked like, she just went off on Smiley for no reason. But then on social media, Anna was saying that Smiley did something really weird to her when the cameras weren't watching. And so that's the reason why she went off, but now all of a sudden in this episode she's saying that it was because she was drunk. So I'm really confused, but they were able to squash their beef. And then at the other house, Rolly is going on and on about how she felt some type of way about Biggie picking up a chair and threatening to hit Scarface with it, because had she would have hit Scarface with it, she would have got really hurt. And listen, I understand where Rolly is coming from. They shouldn't be able to pick up objects. But at the same time, didn't she throw her shoes at Biggie a few episodes ago? So how are you going to say that she shouldn't be allowed to pick up an object, but you took an object and threw it at the girl? So to me, it was just really hypocritical. And then Sapphire started saying that even though her and Sukiyana are really close friends, she doesn't agree with the stuff that Sukiyana was saying at dinner in the previous episode. She feels like Smiley and Biggie are not innocent, and so she doesn't understand why Sukiyana was taking up for them. But to me, she wasn't taking up for them. She was just stating the obvious, that if you keep on making somebody the center of attention, they're going to end up being the star of the show, and that's exactly what ended up happening. Nobody ever said that Smiley and Biggie are innocent, because they're not. They do a lot of things that piss a lot of people off, but what people are saying is that they didn't deserve a lot of the treatment that they got this season, and that's the reason why people are calling it out. Now, Natalie ends up calling Sky and telling her that she wants all the girls to meet up in the same place. So all the girls get on the bus and they head to where Natalie is at. And that's when the girls start drinking pretty heavily on the bus. I mean, Smiley was drinking a lot, and they said that Smiley doesn't even really drink like that. So you know that she should have calmed down a little bit, because when you're not really a drinker, drinking 1 or 2 drinks can have you on your ass. But I don't think that the alcohol was what really made her end up in this situation that she was in this episode. I think that alcohol played a part in it. But she was drinking, she was dancing on the bus, having a good time with the rest of the girls, and then all of a sudden she was laying on the floor and she wasn't really moving. Now, Tasiki was trying to get Smiley up off the floor, but she was dragging her pretty aggressively. Like, I don't understand why she was dragging the girl that hard when you can clearly see that she's not really moving that much. The only person on that bus that seemed like they had any concern for Smiley was Sky, because she made sure to let the girls know that Smiley hadn't eaten nor drank anything since they came to Jamaica. And then on top of that, it's really hot and she's drinking alcohol. Alcohol dehydrates you. So if you already haven't eaten nor drank anything all day long, and then you're in the scorching hot heat in Jamaica and you're drinking alcohol, which also dehydrates you, that can be a really bad combination. I was just really disgusted at the lack of care and concern that these women showed this girl on this bus when they see that she's clearly not able to really move. She's sick, she's out of it, and they just sat there saying that she was faking it. They were being really aggressive with her. Anna had her phone out and she was recording this girl, and then on top of that, they were saying that they weren't gonna baby her. Like, that's what they were saying on the bus, and it's like, that's really crazy and scary that women act this way towards each other, because even if you're not friends with people or they don't really like you that much, if you're around them and you're in trouble, you would think that they would have some care and concern and try to help you. But the fact that these girls just sat there laughing, recording her, and saying that she was faking is crazy to me. Like, this was very triggering to me, because I have a sister with epilepsy and I've seen her have a seizure before, and it is very similar to what happened to Smiley in this episode. People kept on saying that she's faking it, and you can tell that she's faking because alcohol doesn't do that to you, especially because she didn't really drink that much, but it absolutely can do this to you, and people need to do their research, okay? The girl didn't drink or eat anything all day. She's in the scorching hot heat in Jamaica. She's drinking alcohol on a completely empty stomach. Alcohol already dehydrates you. It's hot on the bus, and she's dancing on the bus before she ends up getting really sick. And then on top of that, if you do your research, you would see that if your balance and your electrolytes is off, that can definitely trigger a seizure, especially if you're drinking alcohol. So I think that people need to do their research before they start saying that this girl is faking. The only person that showed any care or concern for Smiley in this situation was Sky. She was definitely over there trying to help her. She was putting cold water on her back and her neck trying to help her. But what I think was wrong that she did was that when she thought that Smiley was going to throw up on her, which I understand nobody wants anybody to throw up on them, I would have ran too, but she did not have to mush that girl's head the way she mushed it, because you know this girl is basically not able to control her body. She's falling all over the place, and then you take her head and mush it back and run. This girl could have fell and smacked her head. Like, she did fall after, Sky did that, but luckily she didn't smack her head on the hard ground or the hard floor in the bus. So I just don't understand why she did that. I think she was doing a little bit too much, but I mean, she was the only person that showed that she even cared. This episode was just very triggering because at one point Natalie ended up going to the bus where Smiley was, and Smiley didn't have her feet planted flat on the ground and she couldn't hold herself up. And instead of trying to help her, Natalie was yelling at her, telling her to sit up straight and to put her feet down on the ground. And it's like, girl, you see that she's barely conscious. Why are you yelling at her like that? And then on top of that, Sky, Natalie, and Scotty start laughing with each other because, you know, all of a sudden Smiley started snoring. But when people have seizures, some of them do snore during it. So I don't understand why they were laughing about it. They just thought that she was drunk and acting stupid and trying to have attention on her. But to me, that was not the case. It was just really disgusting to me to see how these women were handling this situation, all because they don't like Smiley, and most of them don't even have a reason not to like the girl. I mean, Camila doesn't have a reason not to like Smiley, but she sat up there in her confessional and basically didn't care about what was going on with her and said that there's always something going on with Smiley. How is there always something going on with her? The girl had a miscarriage and she didn't even try to make it a thing. The other girls made the miscarriage a thing. Tasiki was outside yelling, saying that Smiley was faking, and then on top of that, she got in her confessional and said that Smiley was lying about this and that she's an actress and that she was lying about the miscarriage as well. And I don't understand why they're saying that she's lying about the miscarriage because they don't have proof of that either. They were saying that she was lying about the miscarriage for attention, but to me, she wasn't, because she wasn't trying to bring attention to it. If you go back to those episodes, when she had the miscarriage and she was in the hospital, Natalie was saying that she wanted to know why Smiley was in the hospital. So when Smiley ended up calling Tasiki on the phone and telling her that she had a miscarriage, after that, she didn't bring it up anymore. It was the other girls that kept bringing it up in every single episode, not her. So to me, if she really wanted attention about it, wouldn't she keep talking about it in every single episode? She wasn't doing that, and I honestly don't think that she lied about it. And Biggie was really pissing me off because she was saying, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. This is so embarrassing. Every single time we go somewhere, this girl does something to bring attention to herself. And it's like, she's not faking it. Why are you acting like she's faking it? If this was happening to Biggie, they would have reacted the same way to her because they don't like her either. So the fact that Biggie sat there and had no care and concern for Smiley at all was disgusting to me, because everybody's always defending Biggie all the time when she goes through something, but she does a little bit of shady shit too. And I've been able to see that the past few episodes. At one point, Smiley was screaming for her son, and I don't understand why people were saying that that's the reason why they think that she's faking, because she was screaming for her son. If you know and you've seen people have seizures before, depending on what type of seizure it is, they do scream and yell for somebody that they love and care about. They will do that, and I don't understand why people were saying that she was faking because of that. Like I said, my sister has epilepsy. She has seizures, and sometimes when she has seizures, she'll yell and scream for somebody that's usually with her. She'll yell for my mom, or she'll yell for my grandmother. She'll yell for whoever was with her before she had the seizure. So I just don't understand why people are saying that that's the reason why she's lying. And honestly, the comments were disgusting, and the way that the girls were acting in this episode was disgusting. This episode was just truly disturbing to me, like honestly, from everything, from Zeus continuing to film this girl while she had a seizure and making it a part of the entire episode, and then the girls reacting the way that they did. They didn't care about her, they didn't believe her, they felt like she was lying about it, and they were laughing and recording her. That was disgusting, and I hope that they're never in this type of situation where they really need help, because I would hope that nobody would react to them the same way that they reacted to Smiley. I mean, it was truly, truly disturbing. Tanisha was right. When she did the first season of Baddies, she said that Natalie was going to run it into the ground. She didn't feel like Natalie should be a part of the cast. She felt like she should be in the background, and Natalie didn't agree. Now she's a part of the show, making it total chaos, because honestly, I don't think that the show would be as chaotic as it is if Natalie was not a part of the cast. But because she's a part of the cast and she likes to cause division and stir up drama, that's the reason why things get as hectic as it gets, and that's really what it is to me. So those are my thoughts on this week's episode of Baddies East. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button for me. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos and hit the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed to my channel. I appreciate you all. And until next time, I will talk to you guys in my next video.